Hello and welcome to another edition of Disneyland Darlings, presented by Tales of a Disneyland Cast Member.
I'm Lucy.
And I'm Danielle, and we are ready to bring you some great Disney news. Live from the Grand Californian in Anaheim, California. This is Disneyland Darlings, episode 2.
Okay, so first of all, we want to apologize kind of for our first video blog. It was our first. We were kind of dealing with sound issues, kind of trying to figure out a location to film at, so hopefully things will be better this time and we can smooth those things out.
Rome was not built in a day, and neither was our blog nor our video blog. So on our Facebook page, someone asked us, what is our favorite Disneyland snacks? Now, we love to eat, so I gotta tell you, every episode is gonna feature a new snack. So
we had nachos from Whitewater Snacks.
I got half chicken, half steak, and she got chicken. But it's one of the best kept secrets in Grand is these snacks. They also serve Mickey waffles, and they have a delicious, one of those really cool machines that has multiple, like,
Coke Freestyle.
Yeah!
Obviously, the topic on everyone's mind is the price hike in Disneyland. So,
where to begin? A lot of you follow me on Twitter, so you saw my rant yesterday, and I apologize if I offended anyone, but I also feel like everyone's entitled to their opinion. We've seen a lot of pros and cons of it. We've been interested in people's responses. Something I noticed yesterday on Twitter was that the people that were the most angry were the Disney World people. People that were very like nonchalant about it were the West Coasters. So I think that's a very important, something to really remember when we're thinking about that. When Disneyland hikes their prices up, it's for different reasons. When Florida hikes their prices, it's for different reasons. I know some East Coasters feel very upset because Epcot and other theme parks have been neglected and not been updated, which we understand here at Disneyland because our Tomorrowland is pretty scary.
Yeah,
but
and considering pretty much everything's closed right now. Castle's under refurbishment, and Critter Country is entirely closed, Matterhorn's closed, what isn't closed?
Peter Pan's closed, Small World is partially operating. So we get it, we understand.
Yeah. You have to understand that with those updates and refurbishments, like, that costs money, that costs Disneyland money, and I know that things have to get better, so therefore price increase.
And I think it's something very important to remember that people often forget Disney as a company.
Things like that.
And something that people need to understand and remember that there is something called supply and demand. It's basic here in California. Things are very busy and it's hard to meet that. And people also forget that the Disney company is a business. It is not a non-profit organization. People need to understand Disneyland is a privilege, not a right. I know it's really hard to understand, but that's what it is as a business. They need to make money. And so they're going to raise those prices. They're going to take that person that's going to pay them premium dollar. That's why Club 33 and members are have special treatment because they're willing to pay for it. And that's just how it is. That's how life is.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe Disneyland just needs to be a little more of a special occasion. And personally, I mean, as an annual pass holder, I mean, of course, like, it sucks having to pay more. No one wants to pay more for something that they already have, but in coming to Disneyland recently, it's so difficult with crowds. It is so difficult. I feel like that, like, even, I mean, we're here today on a Tuesday in the middle of February, and there's still crowds. Like, it's
still a 40-minute wait for Indiana Jones.
It's unavoidable, and I think with the price increase, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, we don't have any space to expand. Like, the only solution really is to increase prices, I feel like.
I agree, absolutely agree that it is a magical place, and if you really like going, you can save and scrimp in other places and sacrifice in other places. Maybe not get that latte. I know that I'm going to be sacrificing a lot of things and saving because Disneyland's important to me. But also, when I come to the park as an annual pass holder, I buy things. I just don't hang out here and don't buy anything. I buy snacks, I buy merchandise. So I'm making sure to give back to the company even though I have a pass and I'm not just taking up space. And that's something that I think a lot of people need to understand, especially annual pass holders. This isn't a mall. It was not like a place to just do stuff.
Danielle brought to my attention an article by Katie Combs, and we'll put the link in the description if you want to read that. It's entitled "What Has Happened to Disneyland?" And it kind of goes on to say that Disneyland sucks for the price that we're paying. Honestly, when I read through it, I laughed. I think that a lot of this is very exaggerated, very what's the word? I just felt like it was like trying to tear down Disneyland. I think she was bitter that she paid so much, and so she was looking for anything to tear the park down.
But I think this is because of our crowds and our lines. People aren't having a good time. A lot of people keep comparing Disneyland to 1955 version of Disneyland. It's not what it used to be, blah blah blah. You know what? A lot of things aren't what they used to be. Gas prices, not what it used to be. And maybe we were being naive because we didn't see it in the old days. But
you have to update and change to the times. I mean, the world isn't the same place that it used to be.
Exactly.
These were not older people or people with broken bones or other disabilities. They were simply people who couldn't handle walking the distance from one ride to the other. Their scooters were loaded with corn dogs, popcorn, pretzels, cotton candy, frozen lemonade, and chocolate-dipped cones. Those who are riding scooters get to skip most of the lines, so there's actually a payoff for being really unhealthy at Disneyland. I think that's a great generalization of people who use scooters. Yeah, I feel like...
You know what, lady? Even if they are, it's none of your business. Sorry.
It truly is. I mean, I've seen people on scooters at Disneyland, but it's not like that.
Since they changed the system, it hasn't been that way. People do skip the lines. I'm not saying they don't. People still take advantage of it. They still do. I'm not saying they don't. However, it's a little bit more managed than it is what it used to be, in a sense. And you know what? If someone's gonna go to that extreme to lie about something serious like that, then you might as well. You can't win. It's those same people that cut in line and those people that just cheat to get ahead.
Crowds are always unbelievable in Disneyland no matter where you go, and the rides while we were there were breaking down constantly, which I feel like is another generalization. I mean, whenever there is an issue with a ride or attraction, I feel like Disney's very quick to,
absolutely
amend it.
Absolutely.
I feel like she kept
talking about food.
Yeah. There's attacks on the people that are there. Like, she talks about undisciplined children yelling at their parents or throwing themselves on the ground. It's really not Disneyland's fault.
No.
I mean,
parenting issues these days. Anywhere you go, kids are gonna throw tantrums. Let's not act like kids are kids, and Disneyland is a place for kids. People forget that. And you know what? Kids are gonna throw tantrums. There's gonna be strollers. So when adults come into Disneyland and say there's too many strollers, I want them to know Disneyland's a place for kids. First and foremost, that's what it was intended to be for.
Absolutely. And like, the scooter thing is still an attack on people, the attendants of Disneyland. And then she goes on to say, like, another disturbing aspect about Disneyland for me is now watching the lack of interaction between families.
Once again, a comment of society. If you want to ever study culture as a communication major, as an interpersonal organizational comm major, something to ever do is go to Disneyland and just study the people. You have a very good reflection of times, iPads, everything, but that doesn't mean it's Disneyland's fault.
It's really not. I mean, I feel like Disneyland is doing its best to amend that.
Especially with interactive cues, a lot of things to look at, especially in Florida, there's a lot of that.
Also, she keeps on commenting on the food within the parks. Being on rides means you aren't buying $15 hamburgers that are really disgusting. Is there a $15 hamburger in? I feel like
that's probably like an exaggeration. I believe the most expensive one is around $9.
I don't think they're disgusting either. I think, as far as theme park food,
it's not in and out. Sorry, folks. It won't be in and out, but it's better than most.
Also, you have to remember that this is a vacation. If people want to, this is a vacation. If people want to, indulge in that kind of thing, like, that's fine.
It's something that very, very much concerns me. Is an American tradition is slowly fading, and I hope over time we see that Disney starts to falter unless they become less food-centered and more magic-centered. I'm sorry, but food-centered? America is food-centered. I'm sorry. Like, that's a reality. And they need to get rid of all the junk food and add more quality, healthy alternatives to encourage a healthy family experience. They offer carrots, they offer pickles, they offer fruit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see...
But some people, they want to have their churro. It's a splurge day. You know, they can have their cotton candy, their ice cream, and that's what it is. And you can't take away that. You can't take away that from people. And I'm sorry that if people think that the American experience is about food, it's really about being with people you love. And it's very sad that someone would look at the park and assume that it's no longer an American tradition because it doesn't offer what you want. And I think Disneyland's a great reflection of what America is today. There's a melting pot of people there. And something's very concerning. She says they lost a lifetime customer for now and what they represent, and I hope they will start caring about the health and well-being of families since this is what their theme park is supposed to be about. Walt never intended that it would be a place for well-being and health. It's not a gym. Disney intended it to be a place for families to come together. So it sounds like, Katie, you gotta spend a day with your family, which is what Walt wanted.
And this is coming from 2 annual pass holders who are, I mean, at Disneyland very often have seen the realness of the parks and are not like going on a 1 day or 2 day. I think that's how long she went on it for. Yeah. So, for those of you annual pass holders, you've probably heard about the 20 Years of Adventure, and we will be attending next week on Wednesday night? Wednesday night, March 3rd.
That's what I'm going to be wearing because it's 20 years of adventure. Ooh, the front side of a shirt. Anyways, so where are we going? And we'll be vlogging. Starts at 8 p.m. and goes to midnight.
It's obviously
Adventureland, Frontierland, and New Orleans Square.
I think it's also important to note that Indiana Jones is turning 20 this year.
20. So we have something we've been working on. If you've been following our Facebook page, you know about this. We have launched our Instagram.
You can follow us at Tales of a DLCM. That's TALESOFADLEF. Yeah, I'll put the link in the description. And you should follow us
because
we have a new giveaway that will be.
The contest rules are
there are 3 ways that you can enter, and you get a total of 3 entries, no more,
no less.
Well, you can do less.
Just seemed like it worked.
I thought about it too. Okay, so first, we're gonna post a mug picture and announce our giveaway.
That's right.
So if you like that, you're instantly entered.
Yes.
If you comment and tag 3 of your friends, that's another entry.
Yes.
And if you repost the photo or another one of our photos, you are instantly entered.
There. Easy. There's 6 photos. You pick your favorite. Also, I've partnered with Ernest PR.
I wonder who started that.
I don't know. I've partnered with myself. I have decided to do something miraculous every month. So for the rest of the year, in celebration of Disneyland's 60th anniversary, I'm giving away a photo shoot worth $500 every month. So head on over to Ernest Public Relations on Facebook or earnestpr.com to check out more info on that, and to stay tuned because I will be announcing on all my platforms of one of those.
Every single
platform I own, every platform when those are going on.
LinkedIn?
I can start doing LinkedIn. To all my LinkedIn fans out there, hey, this is for you. And they're worth $500. I did one this morning. It was great. The family loved it, and so I think it's gonna be great. So you don't want to miss out on those because 60th is about making memories. And I want to provide some magical memories for everyone.
Adrienne
C
asked us
from
Facebook,
Tales of Disneyland Cast Member Facebook.
Do you think your Disney experience as a local resident differs from someone who has to travel there? What do you think are the pros and cons of being local versus a knowledgeable tourist?
I'm glad you asked.
Well, as someone who has grown up in Southern California and has been an annual pass holder for years at a time, I don't really have that experience of traveling to Disneyland and going to the parks. I mean, I can't really answer that, but Danielle, who has been both, can answer that.
Away from Indiana to Disney World, and we would buy those multi-day park hoppers, and we would start at 5 a.m. and end at midnight and do the park because we had to. That was my experience in Florida, which will probably be my experience again when I go in April. I moved to California and found out that everyone goes to Disneyland. It is a Disneyland culture, like, world thing. Like, you just do that. You go to In-N-Out in Disneyland. So we lived about an hour 15, but actually 3 hours with LA traffic, which was also a very crazy thing to me. So we wake up at the crack of dawn and go to Disneyland, and we do our all-day thing and be out till midnight, and then get home. We'd be out for pretty much 24 hours at Disneyland. So it was the same experience where we had to get, all I was ever focused on was the rides, the attractions, Space Mountain, Splash On, Indiana Jones. I had to do that. But then I became a cast member, and I'm now a local, and I love it because I can do things like just have ice cream and sit on the bench. But I promise you, we will continue to discuss the pros and cons of being a local versus a tourist, and we will always mention something regularly about the importance of it and what's something you should highlight. So don't worry about that. And I hope you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe. But seriously, thank you for all you do. Thank you for making our lives magical. Thank you. Please comment too. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your thoughts about the price increase, but keep it nice. We also want to hear the pros and cons if you're a tourist or a local. What do you think about that? We'd like to have conversation with you guys. It's more fun for us when we have people to talk to besides each other. So once again, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Lucy.
And thank you for joining us on Disneyland Darlings.